black versus white, Republican versus Democrat, all the us versus thems that you
just
could possibly
poor
imagine.
versus rich.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's all it is.
All it is.
It's all a distraction
is
from
the very,
yes.
very rich people versus everybody else.
Welcome to Guys We...
Hello, party people. How are you today? Welcome to another extremely lovely, wonderful, rousing episode of Guys We Hugged.
It's the anti-shaming podcast. I'm Corinne Fisher.
I'm Krystyna Hutchinson.
Welcome to the show. If you want to send us an email, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Also, subscribe to our YouTube page. I know there's now like all these comments like, oh, I listened to it here because of this reason. Don't even watch it on YouTube. Just click subscribe.
Yeah.
That's
Just
all.
do it. Just do it.
And
we
I know
got some visuals lately.
And yes, I know it's in two parts, but that's on purpose. We had a whole meeting with this woman who runs the New York Times YouTube, and she convinced us that you have to do it in two parts, and then it did perform better, so she wasn't wrong, and that's why it's in two parts. But for those of you who just can't wait and got to consume it immediately, yeah, you can get it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Apple, Luminary, wherever.
But you're going to miss out on these gorgeous faces.
Yeah, it's fun times.
It is. You can keep up with our hair colors and our lipstick colors. And then you can ask us what lipstick we're wearing and we won't tell you. Just go to Sephora. If you want to send us an email, it's sorryaboutlastnightshow@gmail.com. Today's subject line: I told my dad I was raped and he basically shamed me for not telling him earlier.
Okay.
Hi, Corinne and Krystyna, longtime listener, first-time writer-inner. Your podcast has helped me a lot over the years, especially when talking about women and sexual assault. That leads me to my current issue. As I've gotten older, I'm 30 years old female. Relationship with my parents, dad specifically, has changed. My dad is a good person, but has always been emotionally distant. I'm finding myself getting really frustrated with him and his reactions or lack thereof. When I was younger and I would get upset about something or talk about how something bothered me, either related to him or not, he would always tell me that it wasn't a big deal. He's always seen things as very black or white. For example, just don't smoke. People who get addicted do things that are stupid. I think he really has a hard time putting himself in other people's shoes. And if it doesn't bother him or he can't relate, he sees it as no big deal. You're describing most of the dads in this world. He's always said, you can tell us or me anything. For a long time, I believed that. When I would tell him things like I'm struggling with X or I'm worried about Y, his response would be things like, well, it doesn't bother me, or don't worry about it. And it made me feel like I was overreacting to everything. I'm autistic, struggled with an eating disorder, was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, so I have had a lot going on. And I always felt like it was just too much because my dad was telling me things like that things shouldn't bother me, and I believed him. I always felt like I was the problem, like I was being irrational. When we would have disagreements, he would walk away and then come back a few hours later like nothing happened. We would never talk about it. I thought this was normal, and it took me until I was an adult to realize that you need to talk about your problems to solve them. Walking away and pretending everything is fine doesn't resolve anything. I made the decision to tell both of my parents a little over a month ago that I was raped a few years ago. I've been going through a lot recently. I got the news a couple months ago that my case will not go to court, obviously very upsetting, and I couldn't put on a happy face for them. I was distant from my parents, and I decided to let them know what was going on. I didn't go into details, but essentially I gave them the Cliff Notes. My mom hugged me, and my dad just sat there. I know it's a lot for them to process. Part of the reason why I took so long to tell them, I didn't want to burden them with this information. So I was expecting them to need time to process. What really hurt was that my dad didn't look at me at all, and my mom basically had to tell him to hug me. I completely get that it's a lot for him to process, but it made me feel like shit, like he wanted nothing to do with me. All he said was, quote, well, you know what I'm going to say, but I don't. Running through my head was, are you going to blame me? Are you going to tell me that I can tell you anything and you should have told you? ask me why I was in the situation in the first place. I almost would have preferred him actually saying what he was thinking so we could hash it out right there. Yeah, of course. Now I'm left with so many questions and scenarios. Another one of the reasons why it took me long to tell my parents and even the police was because I had my dad's voice in my head telling me that it wasn't a big deal and that I was overreacting. I'm slowly coming to terms now that I wasn't. It's taken a lot of therapy and a healthy relationship to get there. This happened over a month ago, and I haven't heard anything from him since. He texted me 2 pictures, but I don't feel like that counts.
Pictures of what?
A flower? A dog? Hopefully it was a dog. I'm angry because you can't tell someone that they can tell you anything and then react like that, and then get mad when they don't tell you things in the future. Again, I get that he needs time to process, but there's a way to do it without making me feel like shit and unwanted. I feel like I just bared my soul, and he shut me out. I'm struggling to grapple with what I do moving forward. I feel like my dad needs to be the one who talks to me first, and I'm hopelessly hoping for some sort of apology for how he acted. That's risky. That's a risky place to be. Not for his emotions, but for shutting down. If he never wants to address this, how am I supposed to have a relationship with him? I can't avoid him. My parents come to visit my husband and I, and we spend holidays with them. Am I overreacting? Do I just need to accept this and move on? Any advice or wisdom or insight would be much appreciated. Thank you. So what comes to mind for me is like, kind of something I've been talking about the last maybe year or so on the podcast is like this realization that our like millennial women and men, our mothers dealt with a level of sexism that we don't deal with today. We have, obviously it still exists, but it's in different forms. And the level that they dealt with it at was far more severe and to the point where people didn't go out of the box and kind of go against the grain socially of what was expected of them. And I think the same thing with dads. I mean, you're describing a dad like kind of the one I have. He's I just can't come to my dad with certain things when we were talking. And I try to give the dads that much understanding that I give the moms. Like they were dealing, being a woman, the time that our moms were women was really rough. But also like the bullshit around masculinity was super hardcore for your dad. I'm not sure when he was born. You're 30 years old. So he was born a while ago, and I imagine the type of masculinity that was sold to him, that was expected of him, that was just kind of taught to him subconsciously was probably leads to exactly who he is today. And I also think, we had this conversation with the interview you're about to hear. Like we don't talk to our parents that much when we get older. If we're still in contact with them about like what their experiences were like growing up. And I think there's a lot to gain. There's a lot of wisdom to gain. So it's not your job to be curious about your dad because you're dealing with his reaction that's very understandably hurtful. Because my instinct when I was reading your email is he just is uncomfortable around emotions. And so when you were telling him that you were sexually assaulted and he wasn't looking at you, to me, that checks out as a man who just was taught not to feel and to just provide for his family and to just suck it up and don't feel anything. That's going to result in an older adult that is extremely uncomfortable around emotions. So I think part of possibly something that could be healing for you is accepting that. But I wonder if a sense of curiosity around your dad's early life, if you have it in you, because you don't have to, might give you some more insight as to why he's like that.
Yeah, I mean, so the first part that I got from this earlier part of the email is this kind of dad's behavior from when you're a little girl to when you're a woman. So I feel like many dads are good with little girls because little girls are just children, right? And then you grow up and then you have you're basically raising young men and young women. And think about, quite frankly, how bad, men are at walking in a woman's shoes or just understanding women at large on the dating scene. Well, your dad is no different. Your dad is also an adult man. So I think when little girls become women, they become more distant, not because they're less interested in you, just because they truly don't know how to grasp it. And I mean, I guess like being less interested in learning about women at large does affect parenting when you're parenting a woman. But again, this is like something that I've seen so many, dads do, and dads who are good dads in my family and just in my life. wasn't really my experience, but I also just like was independent from a pretty young age. So I wasn't like, after I moved to college, I just wasn't really asking my parents a lot because I was like, I'm going to do this by myself. So I really can't speak to that because I wasn't really asking any questions that needed answers. But then, and then I agree with Krystyna when you reveal it. It's like, I think you're kind of both in your own worlds, right? You want him to react in a certain way and to make you feel a certain way, to make you feel safe, to make you feel seen, to make you feel understood. And, you know, as a parent, I don't think you're a parent yet, right?
I don't think so.
So you're not a parent and I'm not a parent, but from my understanding of the overwhelming feeling you get when you're a parent is that from the moment your child is born, it is this kind of just almost an unbearable duty to protect them. And I think dads feel that even more so than moms, especially like in a physical sense. So like rape is this physical thing that happened to you. It's this emotional thing too. And perhaps that's the part I'm guessing that you're processing heavier than the physicality of the act. But I think your dad is kind of just, you know, is possibly angry at himself, even though there's no way he could have protected you from this. I think parents and especially dads feel this like this overwhelming burden of like, how could I have like let this happen? Even though there is no like he's not hanging out with you, there's no way. So I think he's grappling with that. And yes, the appropriate response is not to kind of go inward and make it all about you when someone tells you something like that, but it is a natural human response. And so I think just because someone tells you, he told you, you can tell him anything. He didn't guarantee you a response. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
True.
he didn't
I'm sure he wishes
knock
he could
all the
do it
vases
better.
off the table. He didn't scream at you. He took the information in. And I'm not saying this is like the best reaction, but like, you know, think of the emails that we've read on this podcast. There's like been way
what were you
worse.
wearing?
You know, and and again, it's not like we should have to compare it, you know, like other people have it way worse, but like there's nothing about this email that like makes me think like, oh, actually, this is not a guy you can tell anything to. I think the fact that he's saying you can tell anything to him is like, he wants to hear and he wants to kind of like work on reacting. And I know like you're saying like, oh, he only texted me 2 pictures since.
That was him trying to connect with
That
you.
was him trying to reach out, obviously.
When you told me that, I'm like, oh.
He's trying to reach out. And again, I know that when you're hurting, you don't, and especially like this is a thing that women constantly have to do. Men don't know how to react. And then we tell them something and now we have to take care of ourselves and them. And it is tiring and it is exhausting and it angers me constantly. And I went through it a lot, through many parts in my life. And I'm sure you've gone through it at many parts in your life too. That being said, like, a relationship of any sort is work. And so I'm sure you put a lot of work into your romantic relationship. And if you want to have a relationship with your parents, you have to put a lot of work into that too. And I think as we grow older also, like, you know, our parents raised us and then it does flip a little bit. Not that we raised them, but we do have to help them catch up to modern times because unless they're in a field where they're going to constantly be exposed to new things, like there is going to be a time when they kind of feel stunted because they're just not catching up at the rate that we are because they're not in this, I would love every phase of my life to be like constantly learning and constantly growing, but quite honestly, for most people, it's not going to be that way. They're going to get to a point where they're kind of going to become content or complacent. And so your parents are just people, and that's going to happen to them too. So do you leave them in the dust, or do you say, hey, I'm going to reach out my hand the way you reached out your hand to me when I was a kid, and I'm going to help pull you into the future? It's your choice. I don't think any response that you have is a bad one, but like you do have to extend that hand if you want your parents to come with you into the future. I don't think they're unwilling, but I think they need help.
Yeah. Your dad clearly, like, I have like and I might be projecting here, so please keep that in mind. I just have like a little soft spot for your dad because it seems like he wants to connect and he just doesn't fucking have the tools. And we've all been in situations in our lives, maybe it was because we were too young and naive or just that it's unfamiliar territory where we just don't know how to handle it and how to respond. And so everybody needs help in that. I also think like something that's helped me is change, obviously I don't talk to my parents, so I really had to change the expectation of going to them for comfort. But everybody's born with the parents they're born with, and you realize later on, like, oh, can I rely on my mom or my dad to comfort me? And if it's no, I think adjusting your expectations of what the role your parents play in your life is something that we have to do as we get older. But like, it's just maybe something we don't give enough thought to. Because when you're going to them seeking comfort, but it was never something they were able to provide, to expect them to keep providing something that they never provided in the first place is, you're asking for heartache on your part. And I'm sure his part too. Like it just does seem like he wants to connect and he doesn't know how.
Also, like, why don't you just you've been seemingly grappling with, like, why does my dad tell me to tell him anything and then react in this way? Just straight up ask him instead of having this haunt you for the rest of your life in a nice way. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of like, it doesn't seem like it's a confrontational energy. It just seems like you're not getting what you need or what you want or what you hope for. So why don't you just say, like, hey, Dad, I would love to chat with you, and just say, my whole life, I know you've told me that I can tell you anything. And I have to be honest, when I told you about my rape, I was hoping for like a little bit more comfort or a different response. And your kind of response makes me feel like, in fact, I can't tell you anything. So I just wanted to talk about that with you. That's simple. Like, I know it's hard to have conversations like these, but it's like, if you want the relationship, you have to do the work to get the relationship. You can't just like sit like hoping, like, I hope my dad's going to come to me. And again, I know like they're your parents. They brought you into the world. They should be doing more work, but like, you got to meet people where they're at. Otherwise, you're going to have a really miserable life. And
also, they're tired. You're an adult. They're tired.
And like,
they need help.
And I know you're like, I'm autistic. I have an eating disorder. I have anxiety and depression. I don't think it's that you're too much, but you have a lot of things that people of that age group probably didn't hear of. Fucking
they swept that under the rug.
Half of
their
this
whole
shit
life.
was not if not all of this shit was not talked about openly when they were growing up. So like, again, it is like, are we all the victim? Are millennials and Gen Z all victims? Or are we just presenting our parents with a lot of shit that they never fucking heard of ever? And like, they need to catch up. Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of both, probably.
Yeah. I think if you just come up from a place of love and curiosity, and those are the only two things you have in mind, I don't even think you need to have a script plan in your head. You could just kind of start a conversation from there with them.
Yeah, just talk to your parents like they're regular people.
Yeah. Let us know how it goes. And listen to us in other places. If you, sounds like you, writer, could benefit from group therapy, but without a licensed therapist, sign up for my group therapy on Patreon, where once a week we hop on a Zoom for an hour and talk about whatever's on our minds. I really like giving advice, and I really like asking people about their lives. I think that everybody is a walking library of experiences, and it's really cool to talk to a bunch of strangers about what's currently eating away at you, and or what you're kind of blossoming into, the ideas that you're kind of evolving yourself. So yeah, to sign up, patreon.com/Krystyna Hutchinson. It's as little as $5 a month, and all of the audio from these Zooms gets posted on Patreon. So it's kind of like a self-help podcast, and it's very fun. Hope to see you there.
And if you want to catch up on the politics and the news and everything that's going on in the world that is seemingly more horrific by the day, but I don't think we should turn our heads away, join me every Wednesday. It's now at the earlier time of 7 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, youtube.com/withoutacountry. You can also listen to full audio on Luminary, on Apple, on Spotify, everywhere. The audio is now uploaded later that night. So if you're an audio listener, you can also listen to it every Wednesday, most likely Thursday morning, unless you're staying up super late like me. So you're kind of, getting the news faster. I made it faster, the turnaround faster, so that you guys could get the information quicker. I think it's important to be informed in today's world. And you can always write in the show if you have any political things that you want to talk about, withoutacountrypodcast@gmail.com. And you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/withoutacountry for a free, well, not free, it's a It's free with your
Exclusive.
It's free after you pay me. But it's honestly
free after you pay me.
you're just paying for like all the subscriptions because I have to pay for all the news sources that I use for the show and for Mike Carrington to produce it and edit it and all that. So that's really all the costs are covering. It's not like I'm going to the mall with the money, but patreon.com/withoutaCountry, an exclusive video news story every single week.
Oh, I haven't been to a mall in so long.
Oh.
I think the last time I went to a mall was when we were at that Jersey Mall, the American Dream Mall.
I go to the Queens Mall a good amount now.
I should go.
It's
Is
in
that like
Queens.
a mall?
Yeah, it's a real mall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go.
Yeah,
as a Queens girl.
I was dipping, sipping at my Auntie Anne's. It's the best experience of my life. They have this thing now. They put a tray on the drink, and then you have your little Auntie Anne's nuggets, and then you dip them, and then you sip. And I just think about me having that, and it was one of the best days of my life.
Diet Coke or Coke Zero and the pretzel nuggets, the salted pretzel nuggets, go together better than
so good.
Oxygen and lungs. I mean, it's just
so good.
It's
Auntie
just
Anne's,
bliss.
sponsor us,
please. We've loved you since Jump. We're OG Auntie Anne's fans.
The smell of an Auntie Anne's in an airport is like,
we know which
what?
airports have Auntie Anne's.
Things
now.
are going to be okay again.
Yep.
Things are
Facts.
going to be okay again.
Facts.
Oh man, I love that. You were in a mall this weekend, Eric?
I was in the mall all weekend, the West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah, see, when you're doing a comedy show all weekend in a mall, malls become less appealing.
Yes,
Yep.
100%.
Then it's like, you feel like,
then you're
the only
trapped.
thing I have.
Yeah, then you're trapped. It's not like an adventure. It's just kind of a situation where you can't get out of it.
Yeah, there was a kids hockey tournament there at the mall, so it was.
At the skating rink?
They have a rink in the mall, but it was there were so many kids there, and I was woken up every day by chanting outside my door by like 10-year-olds.
Oh,
nice.
Because they were waking up their teammates.
Oh,
and
that's
so
cute.
it was like let's go, and I would just wake up every day.
It feels
at like
kind of disrespectful to the other people.
It was
bit.
very disrespectful, especially considering how thin the walls are there.
Oh, so what you do is you open your door, you yell, "Shut the fuck up," and you close it, and then they are freaked out.
I was a little worried to yell at the children, considering the parents were.
No,
It's all right.
I feel like
It's a hotel.
And also, if the parents are there, that's even worse.
Yeah, the parents were in
They're
on
not
it.
teaching their kids respect.
No,
Yeah.
none of these
That's
kids
very
had any
un-Canadian.
respect.
Wow.
Well, a lot of them were American, to be honest.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
It was weird being in Canada and seeing all these people wearing like American flag T-shirts with like their kids' faces on them and stuff.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Okay.
that's like representing.
Yes.
Like the Olympics.
I was at a 4th of July party this weekend. That was actually, speaking of kids, there was like a group of kids there. My boyfriend played a show. He played like a little 3-piece there. And there was the kids there were fucking awesome. First of all, spending 4th of July, if you're going to go to an event, and everybody was like Democrat. Like most people were like, we don't like what's happening, but I guess we'll come together and let's just have fun and drink and dance. I'm like, that's the only kind of vibe I wanted to rock out on for 4th of July if I'm going to be away. And
I mean, I've never really been to a 4th of July party at any point in my life where people are like, yeah, America.
I have it.
Really?
I've never been.
Neither have I.
I've never been to one like
And
that.
I hate it. Not any of the New York parties, but this was really nice.
Mine are
And-
always tongue in cheek.
Yeah, you're right. As they should be, frankly. But yeah, there was a bunch of kids there, and they were so cool. These kids were like magical little kids. There was like 20 of them, ages 2 to 11. A lot of like little boys are just dancing their fucking faces off, having so much fun. Very kind, very like manners, but like just also free. And it made me want a kid, but like then I immediately shut that down because I'm really feeling like there's just so many injustices in the world, and it's a lot to compartmentalize. And you've said this before, Corinne, of like you could have a kid, but it's like there's so much more you could do that would be more helpful to the world by like making drawing awareness to something or just kind of like dedicating your time to making the world better. I'm like
Also,
that's where I'm at.
I am truly haunted by like having to bring my child to school every day, having to go through all the shitty parts of growing up again with my kid. And I know you're like, oh, you could help them through it. I go, no, I help myself through it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want
hear
to
you.
wake
I
up
hear
every
you.
morning at 6 o'clock ever
sounds-
again. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Waking up early. I know this is stupid. Like
I try to protest the start of school days. I'm like, this is unnatural.
It's just unpleasant. I know people are like, oh, when you wake up early, you feel great. No, you
I've
don't.
never felt great in the morning.
You know when I feel great? 2 a.m. That's when I feel great.
That's my witching hour.
I'm writing. Everyone else is shutting the fuck up, and I have the whole world to myself. That's when I feel great.
Yeah, facts.
I just don't like running. Like when I was when I had my stint in politics, I was waking up early fine, and I was doing really long day, like 18-hour days, and I felt fine because I felt like driven to do it. But I just think of cold winter mornings.
Ugh.
Making to get up breakfast and make lunch and just all these things that you need to do for a kid to have a stable and nice childhood.
Nah.
No.
I like taking care of myself.
Absolutely.
Taking care of myself is a joy. Taking care of and a dog.
Myself.
I like that part, and I like taking care of a dog.
Cooking for me is the most. It just wastes so much time. I cooked all this stuff for my 4th of July party, and it was great, and I loved it. But it was really just good.
Those devil eggs, though.
Oh, Jen and me those.
They look so good.
But yeah, anyway, so. Yeah, I don't know, but I had a party and there was no children there, and that was great. But I'm glad the kids at your party were nice.
Yeah, I wasn't. I guess because there's just so many kids that are twats, frankly, and
there's so many people that are twats and they raise twats.
Exactly, yes. And the kids that are twats because their parents are twats. I mean, I know that to be true,
or because they're gentle parenting.
That too, but that to me is a twat as well. There's so many different kinds of twats. The spectrum is wide. But the parents were really cool too. It was just wow, you guys, none of you suck. And that is palpable, Also, I was thinking really the only art form, maybe you can say painting and sculpture, but the only art form that brings people together that it doesn't matter who you voted for, it doesn't matter what your income bracket is, it doesn't matter blah, 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 is music. That's the only one. A Republican and a Democrat can both like the same song, and all of the party lines just completely disintegrate because you're just dancing to a dope song.
That's how I felt at the Garth Brooks concert in Las Vegas when I snuck off for my birthday before his accusation. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was there and I was like, I know that I don't agree with pretty much anything else the people in this room think, except for that Garth Brooks fucking rules. And I don't even, not as a person, I just like his music. I don't like him personally. I think he's the most average looking and average behaving man. But that guy can get a crowd going.
Yo, he has charm and he knows how to play that guitar.
He can get a crowd going.
His voice is so gorgeous.
Well, it was also when people get horny for Garth Brooks, I'm like, this looks like go to just pick up at any middle school and you could meet Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
This is the most
teaching your fourth grader
dude.
Truly. Yeah, he's not visibly take it or leave it. But when you hear that sweet, sweet voice and those guitar strings strum, you're like, oh, okay, you got some personality, Garth. Let's go.
Yeah.
Also, and I'm sure you've talked about this on Without a Country, but I'm realizing too, we've been sold this us versus them bullshit since the dawn of time because that's how you control population. It's black versus white, Republican versus Democrat, all the us versus thems that you
just
can possibly
poor
imagine.
Versus rich.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, that's all it is.
All it is.
It's all a distraction
from very rich people versus everybody else.
All racism and sexism. These are all these other things are distractions from the fact that it is a small group of wealthy people controlling the rest of us.
And that is on full display.
And we fell for it.
Yes, we absolutely fell for it.
We take the bait every time.
Mm-hmm. And because there's promises of being rich, or there's promises of, well, if I can't have this, you can't have this. And if I got in the country legally, then you have to too. Go fuck yourself. It's rich versus everybody else, okay? Please realize that. And if you're somebody who's like, nah, then you haven't realized that. And I just need you to go spend some time by yourself. And I need you to just sit alone, take some breaths, and really think about life and the things that you know about it. And you will soon come to realize that it is just it's so in my face. Once you really it's not something that hasn't been said before and that I haven't heard before is rich versus everybody else. But it's just so fucking obvious that I see it everywhere and you just can't unsee it.
Well, the coverage of Jeff Bezos' wedding was making me physically ill. It was making me physically
more ill than looking at his wife's face. Oh my god!
Well, I know, and
I hate his face. I hate his bald ass head.
Sanchez
I hate her face.
Was beautiful.
I know. I know, and I hate getting on women for making their face fucked up after they're already hot because I know what society does to women. I get it. But like,
she
come
has
on, man.
eyes. I'm so confused.
Does she though?
Just like look at a picture next to another picture. Like she was
when you
very
stare,
beautiful.
She was gorgeous.
Bad work, right?
But she's so rich.
She's so rich. She got. It's too much because there was.
She looks like she looks like she's an extra in The Lion King.
Well, there was a. I don't watch And Just Like That because I have respect for myself.
I know I can't do it. I can't.
But there was a whole thing about how what's her last name?
Oh, Kristen Charlotte.
Yeah,
Kristen
Davis.
Davis. Yeah.
So about how for this current season she dissolved all her filler, and they had a picture of her, and I go, not only like.
She's gorgeous.
First of all, she's like, I mean, I hate saying aging well because it's such an annoying thing, but like she really is aging beautifully. Naturally.
Yo, Nicole.
And I truly, and I'm someone who actually likes a little bit of plastic surgery.
Me too.
She genuinely looks better without dissolved filler.
Nicole Kidman looks like she was just birthed. And that woman's in her 50s, man. She looks like she's on a roller coaster going downhill.
I know you think some of us are aliens. My number one bet is Nicole Kidman.
She looks like an alien.
She looks like an alien.
She looks like an alien.
Because I went to the movies over the weekend and I saw her.
Where all comes from an experience here in the dark
and I was like, this bitch came from a UFO.
Yes. And not a good kind, though.
I leaned over to my boyfriend and I said, she's definitely drank children's blood. That's what I said.
Yeah, she looks like it. She looks like it. That's how she keeps us.
There's something vampiric or,
I don't think you drink it. I thought you got it cycled in and out of you.
Well, wow, Eric, how do you know that?
Well, that's what the billionaires do, right?
I don't know what they do.
You haven't seen the Blood Boys before?
No.
No, missed that.
Oh.
What is that?
Nicole Kidman's 58. She looks 16.
Do you realize?
That's not okay. That's weird.
Yeah, I like that movie where she was trying to fuck Zac Efron though. That was a great movie.
Wait, The Good Girl or no? I want to see that Baby Girl. Oh, I gotta see that.
Oh, it's still.
Wait, is that's
not Zac Efron?
Shit,
Zac Efron also looks gnarly.
God.
Did he get work done?
Can you give me a paper towel, Eric?
Yeah.
I was so challenged by it. No, Zac. Baby Girl is something else. This was like literally just some Netflix holiday cheapy movie.
Oh, okay.
Right. Wait. What was type Zac Efron? Thank you. Fuck Nicole Kidman. It's a good movie.
Fucks
or
Nicole.
Maybe it was Baby Girl. I thought it was a cheap movie.
Well, Baby Girl, he's not in.
Baby Girl is.
Oh, okay.
Nicole Kidman, 56.
I saw Baby Girl, which
Keith.
I did not think was very good.
Urban. Zac Efron talks filming steamy scenes at Nicole Kidman.
Yeah. What the hell's the name of the movie? A Family Affair?
Sex
yeah,
Scenes with Zac Efron.
I think it's A Family Affair.
Haley and Max in the morning.
Yeah, together in a family affair.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like so it was like just a Netflix movie, and it was this movie where I was just like, no, I don't know. Netflix has me wasting time in ways that I actually never thought I would.
Like how?
Because never in my life have I been like, you know what, I want to watch. A movie about Nicole Kidman and Zac Efron having sex. But then when they give you such limited options of such trash, I go, you know what? Actually, I'm going to eat this burrito and watch this movie. And then it's 2 hours later, and I've now watched an entire movie about Zac Efron and Nicole Kidman having sex, but I liked it.
Wow.
It was good.
You can,
Nicole Kidman's 58.
You can reset your Netflix algorithm because then you'll see a bunch of new stuff.
Can I reset it to say smart?
No. That's the only setting you want you to have.
Exactly.
Like then you'll think of new things and they don't want that.
I just want them to give me smart. Well, also this weekend I did something that I haven't done in a long time, which is I stood up in the middle of a movie theater and told people to shut the fuck up.
Yay!
Felt good.
It feels good, right? It feels so good.
So one of the, like if I was a dictator, death penalty for people who talk during movies.
Absolutely.
Just like, why are you here?
Yep.
Why are you here? You could talk all you want, but just why are you here? I don't understand.
The first movie I saw after COVID was ironically A Quiet Place 2. And the fucking kids, I told them to shut the fuck up. These are 4-year-olds. I go, shut the fuck up.
Why are you in that movie?
4, 5, 6, 7, baby.
Why are they in a quiet?
I don't know. I don't know. Their mom was bored and they needed something. And I go, not the time. Run around in the lobby. I yelled, shut the fuck up at 4-year-olds for like 20 minutes.
Well, in New York, I think saying shut the fuck up in public is just a given. You're allowed to do it.
Yeah.
And listen, you can tell there is a certain energy that people are going to have during previews.
Yes, you can.
Where you can tell that they're going to be a problem.
I'm not going to see that one.
Exactly. You can talk during previews, but you have to talk quietly. And then once the movie starts, silence.
Shut the fuck up.
These people were talking full volume during previews consistently. I go, they're going to be a problem. I gave them the first 10 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer of Final Destination because it's like not dialogue heavy. And I was like, I'll give them 10 minutes to settle down between the talking.
It's a long grace period.
It was. I'm
That was a generous grace period.
I'm generous because I didn't want to say it immediately. I go, all right, maybe they'll catch it, whatever. And then I also give everyone, because I'm like, I always got to be the bad guy. I was also giving everyone else in the audience an opportunity to stand up.
No, they didn't.
For justice.
They didn't take it.
And then they didn't take it. And
They're cowards.
And then it got to the point where I was so mad. I gave my boyfriend a warning. I said, just I'm about to go, because I don't like to surprise people. I said, just I'm about to lose it on these people. And he said, okay.
I wish I was there.
And so not only, and it was like the seats are so high that I'm 5'3.5". I couldn't just turn around.
You had to stand up.
I stood up in the middle of, and I said,
yeah, you did.
And I said to them, I said, shut the fuck. I said, this was my quote. I said, you guys, shut the fuck up. Shut up.
And that's when I smashed my glass water bottle.
What'd they say?
Nothing. And they just started.
And everybody in the movie theater was probably very happy that you did that.
Well, and also, for some reason, it was like late on Saturday night, 4th of July weekend. So, a lot of people are out of town. So there was a lot of people who were there individually. And I understand if you're there alone, you're not going to say shut the fuck up.
Oh, I say shut the fuck up when I'm alone too.
Most people are not
professional
performers. So yeah. And I was like, they're not going to do it. I was like, I'm here with someone, it's my responsibility. And then like they got quieter, but they were still talking. And then like a little bit, but it was like tolerable at least. It was an improvement. And then I start like hearing, I'm like, oh, they're high out of their minds.
Then extra shut the fuck up.
Because if it continued louder, I had my second form of action was they were in the back row. I was going to go up with my flashlight on,
shine on their face,
and sit next to them, and I'm going to say, I'm going to sit here next to you because you guys obviously need a chaperone.
Yes, I love this energy. Yay!
Talking during movies is a no from me, and
it's a no for Corinne, dog.
And then like with maybe like I don't know, maybe like half the movie, a third of the movie was left. They get up to leave, and I'm like, oh, finally. But of course, they even had to leave loudly.
Of course they did. They always leave loudly.
They
always leave loudly. Movie talkers.
The longest way. So they went in front of in the row in front of the screen. And this was like a 2-section movie theater. They did not
have to.
And we were all in the back section because it was, that's like better seating.
Yeah.
And they're giggling. I guess the left exit maybe was closed or something because it was like, there should be exits on both sides. They start laughing hysterically. They're going in front. And then when they're in the front, I'm like, please do not. I hope in their high minds they didn't decide that they should go sit in the front row for the rest of the film.
Oh, like Mystery Science Theater?
Yeah, and like, I didn't want to like go and get staff member because I'm like, what am I going to go get a 19-year-old to handle this for me? I'm 39 years old.
Yeah, you just do it yourself.
They don't want to do it. They're getting paid fucking, $12.50 an hour. They don't want to fucking handle this. Or
not in Corinne's New York City.
It has to be higher than that legally, but I was like $12.50 was the last hourly job I had to show my age. But yeah, and then they finally left, and I was like, thank God.
Thank God.
But I don't know.
You're the hero of the theater.
That was the only basically everything else. Truly, I had the best weekend ever.
Yay.
My party was great. I extended. I really went outside my comfort zone and I invited people who
I saw the pics.
I don't usually invite. I just was like, I was like, if you want, I was like, I always complain that I don't have enough female friends, and I was just like, just invite women that you sometimes talk to.
Yeah,
and it was great. And
that's
they all
amazing.
Showed up, and women, more women at parties.
Yeah.
And not because I want to fuck them, because I want them there because their energy was good. A lot of people were like, oh, I love your friends. I was like, nicest compliment. Thank you so much. People from different worlds coming together. It wasn't all comics. I invited women who own the hair salon that I go to, and like Coscarelli was there, so it was good to see him smoking a cigar in the corner.
I saw in somebody's story that you reposted. I'm like, is that Coscarelli smoking a stogie?
But yeah, that's
so cool.
Quite the weekend.
Well, that's good. I hope that everybody had a good 4th of July if you're American, and that it was just not full of shit or people talking in movies.
Well, and yeah, I mean, my heart, it was just the Camp Mystic girls is
so
just
sad.
It's really like, I mean, I take in a lot of upsetting news, and that just... There's just something about like little girls clinging onto
magical
trees and like as they float away. Flood. There's something specifically haunting about a flood.
Yeah, because you cannot. Floodwaters are so fucking dangerous.
Yeah,
they're so dangerous. My heart goes out to everyone in Texas that was affected by that.
Well, and I saw Rosebud that's the camp that Rosebud went to as a girl. So she like knows all these people.
Oh my God.
And I was like,
fuck.
oh God. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. You know how, like, I guess women will have that, like, some women have that biological instinct to have a kid and, you know, whatever. Like, your biological instinct. I'm having, like, what feels like a biological instinct for some reason, because it's very strong and palpable, of just going to disaster areas and going, what do you need? Like, I just want to fly to Texas or, like, frankly, fly. I know I can't fly to Gaza, but, like, I just want to be in these places because it's like, what am I doing with my fucking time if I'm not... fucking Sudan, the civil war that's happening in that fucking country is... millions of people are starving and dying. Like, and we only hear about Ukraine and Gaza, which are also two terrible, awful things that need our attention too.
Well, it's, but
it's like, my God, we don't care about Africa. Jesus Christ.
Because of how, one, we care even less now because we cut all those programs with Project 2025 extended.
I know. And it's like these people are starving and they just need like fucking water. Like, I'm like, I just want to take a case of water to them.
Well, we were providing a lot of aid to Africa, and it already the situation there has gotten so much worse because we stripped funding from programs that had been going on for truly decades in Africa.
It's so disgusting. It's so disgusting. Yes. The only fun political thing I follow, I guess it's political. You might not count it as that, but like it's just an Instagram account that every day it posts, "Did he die today?"
I see you.
And I want the answer to be yes every fucking day so bad because the amount of lives that man is absolutely taking off the planet and making suffer is... I can't...
I don't think he will, though, because I don't think he will.
He probably wants to be $1.20.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
think
too easy of a lesson. I think we have to learn the lesson that came from electing him.
I feel like we already learned it. We have to like sit back and wait for other people to learn the lessons.
But I think that's like also the liberal mentality, though. It's like we did nothing wrong, but it's like we have to figure out.
We're in it with you.
Yeah, and like we have to figure out. Obviously, like our approach of being like, fuck you, we know love and we know justice, and we like didn't work. So,
and rightfully so. That's never an approach that's going to work.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, if half this ship is sinking, even if it's because of half the ship's behavior, the whole ship is going to sink if the other half doesn't figure out a solution.
Yeah.
Together. So we have to work together.
Yeah.
And it's, you know,
and I really want to like I hope it's more in the zeitgeist and in the conversation at parties and at bars, and eventually it seeps into all of the conversations that it's not Democrat versus Republican, it's uber wealthy versus everybody else. And I feel like once we figure that out, like really, really know that to be true. A lot of people already know that to be true, but like we all of us need to be on board. The people we talked about at that Trump rally, they need to be on board. And unfortunately, it might take them losing Medicaid for their disabled child for them to be on board, which sucks. Like I just don't want people to go through that heartache. But then we can all come together and say, fuck this shit. In a peaceful way that actually makes sense.
Well, we're so selfish now as people that something really bad has to happen to us personally for us to wake up.
Yeah, which sucks.
And that sucks. And we don't. Why did it have to get to that? I don't want to get to this.
I didn't want it to get to it either. And then, did you read about that woman who on the JTrain platform that was being attacked by a 43-year-old man? She was 20 years old, and a group of Samaritans, a group of men, fucking tackled this guy to the ground, which I loved.
Step in.
Wait, I just asked the thing. And they tackled him to the ground, and he was seen shouting at her, "She's mine. I own her." So obviously she was being sex trafficked. Obviously, like I'm like it's so black and white there. The men, thank God, the good New Yorkers of this city beat him up and held him down until police got there. Good. They arrested him. He had a knife on him and he was making threats, and they fucking let him go. The judge, apparently having a knife on you is not a threat that is not like a law that needs to be punishable by bail, but the judge did have the option to either have him released and supervised or to be maintained in custody. And the judge fucking released him. I'm like, that poor fucking girl now has to like be on these streets knowing that this man is there. I'm like, oh my God, this world is... our justice system is set up so that something bad has to happen to you. It's kind of actually super relevant to what I just said, because it's like the justice system is set up so that something bad has to happen to you, and then we respond to it instead of trying to prevent it in the first place. It's the same way we do healthcare. Yeah, well, that's why that rich CEO got shot. Now all the pictures of the CEOs of healthcare companies are not on their website. Big of you. You want to hear something crazy? Yeah. In the front row of my show on Thursday, there was a healthcare CEO
in Canada. And perfectly fine.
Canada.
No one
Yeah,
gives
no
a
one's-
fuck.
yeah,
no one
right,
gives
right.
a fuck. She's sitting front row. I was
Yeah.
doing crowd work,
And
talking to her.
she was comfortable saying she was a healthcare CEO.
She said, I'm the CEO of a healthcare company?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And
Wow.
I was trying to make Luigi jokes, and everyone in Canada was just like,
Wow.
they're pretty,
Oh, good for you guys. You can't relate to that.
Yeah, they're pretty.
That's nice.
Yeah, they're pretty. You can just walk around if you're a healthcare CEO in Canada, which seems interesting.
Well-
Also, I mean, if she's coming to my show, she's probably not making that much money.
She's obviously
Heyo.
problematic.
Yeah.
You know who's not problematic?
Today's guest.
Abso-fucking-lutely. She's a
I
reality.
mean, I feel like maybe she
she is problematic to some.
to some. Yeah, absolutely.
She's a reality show heavyweight. She's the author of Nice Girls Don't Win, How I Burned It All Down to Claim My Power. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Parvati Shallow.